I'm excited about this one. It's the FMS FCX24m. This is a licensed Toyota Tacoma, comes in 3 colors. I was very excited about the original FCX24m release, the Land Rover one, where you could have one of 4 different flavors. I chose the Rangy and I really liked that. If you want to see my in-depth review, check that out here. Today, we're looking at the Toyota Tacoma, another licensed vehicle. Built-in roof rack, little details like D-shackles. It's a hard body like the last one, but it's like a thinner material. But it still has a nice little polycarbonate interior with some little plastic props, real mirrors, and just the license badging and all the rest of it. I've got aftermarket all brass wheels here to help with the thing off-road. And as far as sizing goes, they're very similar. Right, so these are very slightly larger than the stockers. So if you're interested in a performance set of wheels and tires, I'll stick a link below, but this made the car a lot better because it gets the center of gravity down low. Enough about the Rangy. Let's compare radios real quickly. The original one, this is the BS range of radios from FlySky. This looks to be the same. It's FMS branded, of course, but it'll be FlySky. The old one had the really nice wheel feel. This one doesn't. It's still fine, but it does have foam, which I actually think is a step up. So if I had this wheel feel with this foam on it, you'd have a winner. The actual feel of the thing is very similar. The old one was 4-channel, the new one's 3-channel with a 3-position switch here, which will be your 2-speed transmission. But it's otherwise very comfortable in the hand. I'm 6 foot, standard 6-foot person, hand size. It's not cramped, it almost is, but it's not. And especially if you're using it with 2 hands, yeah, no worries. It'll be the 4 AAA batteries as before, and it's very easy to use. There are some teeny tiny little Allen keys, like teeny tiny. Standard wheel wrench. Now this gear is interesting. This is 2-speed, and often the 2-speeds with the FMS cars, the ratios are really good. Oh, and standard balance plug, which means you've got a standard balance plug for your charging. That makes it compatible with hobbyist grade chargers as well, whatever the battery is. Perfect, thank you FMS. I just want to see what this gear's for, and while I do that, I'll tell you, FMS currently has a promotion. The Jimny that we haven't looked at yet, I need to get around to that. The new Michigan, the V2, see the link below for that. It's 3756 is the part. Now, why is it a spare? Let's find out. Well, I've been through the manual. There's no mention of this gear. I've looked all over the box, there's no mention of it. What's interesting about it is that they've been very, very faithful to the wheelbase, the departure angle, all the rest of it. Like, there's a lot of care and attention that's gone into this. I figured I'd bring the 24M down the Rangy so that we could compare the wheelbase. I mean, you can see the difference there, right? And the difference is in that rear shaft. Oh, it's in the rear shaft. So that's pretty cool. Since we're looking underneath it, we've got counter-rotating shafts. And what that stops the car from doing is twisting under acceleration. If the shafts are spinning that way, it'll make the car squat and go like that when it takes off. But with counter-rotating shafts, it kind of cancels that out. So that's really cool. Lovely to see straight axles. Thank you so much, FMS. It's a 2-speed transmission, servo on axle like last time. And if it's anything like the Rangy, yep. We've got Velcro or hook and loop straps on top, a little guide to make sure it's lined up when it goes down. And there's your polycarbonate interior underneath. Same little battery strap system. There's a piece of foam there, so you could, if you really wanted to, and I don't suggest it, you could put a bigger battery in if you get rid of that piece of foam. This should give you, I don't know, 25 to 30 minutes runtime. It's a 380 milliamp hour 2S battery. Same 380 milliamp hour 2S battery as what came with the last 24M, which is ample, like nothing wrong with it. Lovely to see a balance plug hanging off it and a balance plug charger, because that makes you compatible with just your main hobbyist chargers. So I have down here, I tend to make adapters as we go because I've got so many cars, I've got to keep on top of things, right? I've made an adapter that takes this particular plug that the battery has and to a JST. So this just gives me the flexibility to charge off whatever I like. And you can do them in parallel with a board. But anyway, the point is, it's a hobby grade battery, and that's what I like to see. Another thing I like to see is lights at each end. We don't have lights at each end. There are light buckets in the rear. And I'm pretty sure this one didn't have them either, now I think about it. It's the same deal though, little light buckets. So a standard 3mm LED will fit, and the last fella was an 050 motor, and a nice long can at that, and I'd be surprised if it wasn't the same. It is the same, so that's actually a good thing. There's brushless everything these days, right? And I've even looked at some of the FCX24 and FCX18 brushless releases recently. These little outrunners are everywhere. But don't undervalue having a 2-speed transmission, which is what that servo is there for, and these motors here. These are quite long motors. Doesn't matter how big the motor is in any of these models, even up to the bigger fellas, right? If you have a nice long can for the size of the thing, you're going to have a fairly torquey motor. It's a bigger rotor, there's more copper in there, longer magnets. These motors are more than ample, like they're properly good. I make an argument that you don't actually need brushless on these little cars. Brushless, the main advantage of brushless, if you were to do that on this with one of the little tiny, like the 1010s or whatever, would give you, say, 15, 18, maybe at the higher limits, 20% more efficiency. So you might get 6 minutes runtime for every 5 minutes that you would have with the brush system. The control that you get from this, especially with the 2-speed, look, brushed is where it's at. And also if you mud with this, which a lot of people probably won't because these are a lovely scale model, but if you do, and you kill the motor, they're very cheap to replace. And these are showing how good they are. This is the FlySky BS range of radios and receivers. FlySky is a radio manufacturer. They've been making stuff for a long time, right? And I've liked FlySky for a very long time. These things are quite good. Their failure rate, I understand, is quite low. And they're a reliable, easy to use, easy to link, efficient little system. Yes, it's an all-in-one. Yes, that is a cost-saving thing. But FlySky releases this as a package to OEMs, so manufacturers. So FMS can say, yep, we'd like to use this module with this radio, and they work out some big deal. That's actually good for you and me. Sometimes these big business things aren't, but in this case, it really, really is. These have been submarined countless times in cars. The way they make these waterproof is they use what's called conformal coating. It's like I've showed it on the channel before, I've got a bottle of it. It's like kind of like a varnish or like silicone kind of, but it hardens into a shell. You paint it over your electronics, the sensitive things with all the little tiny pins, and now you're waterproof. You can get water all over the thing and it'll be okay. The servos are the biggest concern with going really heavy on water. I know this is a bit of a tangent, but the waterproofing on these is generally quite good, and I have submarined most of my little cars. I wouldn't usually do it, but I make a point on the videos, you know. Bottom line, you end up with a robust little car. This is a mystery. I'd like to understand that. Is it faster? Is it slower? We also have some different grills and bits and pieces here. I see. Oh, okay, nice. So this is if you want the different style. I quite like this style that it comes with here, but you can absolutely replace it with that grill. And if you want to get rid of this bumper or have a different style, they also have what would be the factory, very thoughtful addition here to have that instead of the bumper if you want it. So that's an amazing inclusion, to be honest. I'm going to leave it stock because I quite like it, but I mean, that's pretty sweet to have that option. Thanks, FMS. It's hex hardware throughout, which is lovely to see. As with all little crawlers, center of gravity makes a difference. Now this is a little trail truck. I'm calling it a crawler because it's not a fast, it's not a high-speed little jigger. Any update, any upgrade recommendations I make will be to help the thing crawl better. You don't need to spend a cent on it to make it any better if you're just going to use it for trail fun, okay? I'm going to use the other one because I've charged that ahead of opening this package. There's a little power button underneath. It's a little white thing. You press that and it's a click in and click out to turn it off again. If it didn't work out of the box, what you do is you turn this off, hold down the bind button and turn it on, and then they'll bind, and it's really that easy. We don't have those rear lights, which is a shame, I think. This feels like second speed. Interestingly, it's quite a lot less punchy than the last one. What confuses me is the punch is lacking. This guy's punchier, strangely enough. So that might actually come down to this gear. So I suspect that the top speed will be lower with this gear. That's still plenty enough for walking. plenty of torque, and I mean, like, there's a lot of torque in this thing. Lovely grippy tyres, always the case. Now, where this will top out, this guy won't with its, in fact, I'll show you. Oh, here we go. All right, so that's probably good enough. I'm not holding it. They're sitting on top of my fingers. So you see the difference that heavy wheels make. That's substantial. It's going to start lifting any moment. Wow. Without these heavy tires, these heavy wheels rather, you just don't get that. Did you know there's some stuff you can do about this that doesn't involve adding weight? Do you want to know a suspension secret? I'll tell you. A little toolkit like this, not a super cheap one, but a nice one, is really worth having. Don't be scared off by this. It's like it's a valuable thing because I've just removed these two screws. That's these two screws here. And inside is this fella. Now I've got to pull that hex nut off, which is that there. And you can see there's a little bar that goes through the middle. Well, I've got to get that off too. There's the little bar that goes through the middle. So now there's going to be a bearing, and they are bearings on the FCX. What this is, these little hat looking things, I don't know that they're pictured. They're not pictured there, but they should be. So that's a little omission. That should be in there. These are just, they allow the thing to pivot so the screws go through them. Now, what we're trying to get to, ooh, twin ball bearings too, perfect. That's really nice to see. All right, here's the trick to get the car to handle better. Inside this shock, there is an O-ring. There's a cap that probably pops off. So let's see if we can unscrew this and see what's going on. Oh, these might actually be oil filled. They don't have oil in them, but can they take oil? There is like a residue of oil there, which, yeah, there's a residue of oil. So that's interesting is what that is. Ah, it's got a little rubber hat. Usually you put a bit of paper on this to stop scratching it so that you don't hurt the O-rings. Releasing ever so gently. We're going to pull the spring off. That doesn't screw on, that just pops on. There is an O-ring there. This is called a piston. Now they've just used a bolt because it's such a tiny little car. Often there's a little round thing with circles in it that pushes up and down through the oil. With a shaft like this where there's a lot of room, you can probably add thicker oil. What you do is, to draw this suspension down, so it's up like this, you want it to sit down lower already, which gets your center of gravity lower, so it can go up steeper stuff. What you do is, you get a tiny little spring, and you put it underneath that, so that it kind of fights against this, and it naturally compresses the suspension down, which naturally draws the car lower, which gives you a lower center of gravity, and then the car can go up steeper stuff. And if the wheel needs to drop down, it can. And that's really the secret sauce in Pricey's custom shocks, the silver and blue things in there. People pay good money for that. Pricey will tune them for you. He doesn't do them this small, so I don't think I'm busting any secrets for him here. But this is the secret to getting tuned shocks for a rock crawler. I hope we're not just hemorrhaging viewers here, but the idea is to try and get you guys a little bit more comfortable with working on your cars. Speaking of working on your cars, while I put this back together, let me tell you about the shed. The shed is a new thing I'm putting together. It's a membership that I'm going to release on the channel soon. It's separate to YouTube. It is a paid thing. There is a free section as well. The problem that it answers is getting people who ask me so often in the comments, Craig, how do I do this? What do I do? Like, I don't understand to take this apart. I'm anxious I'll break it. Everything from that all the way up to the kind of chats that I have with the guys at our comp days, which is talking about our fabrication techniques, design, how to maximize what we're getting out of our crawlers. The list goes on. There's a lot to know in this hobby. I've been in the hobby since the late 80s. I'm privileged enough to have like decades and decades of experience to lean on. So when I pick up a car and start talking about it, there's no rehearsing. It's just that knowledge is there. How do I get that knowledge into your mind? What if I took some of the stuff that I've done before, like all my 6-problem course with all the testing, what if I took that and put it into a format that was searchable? You know, what if we got, what if we had a little database of every crawler I've ever tested on the same course? how well it went and what its weaknesses were, with drive notes as well as what problems it finished, obstacles it finished, and which ones it didn't. I've done a lot of stuff with RC that I haven't made videos about because I think, well, maybe it won't suit the audience, so I just haven't done it. If you're interested in results, getting better, I mean, that's even my slogan, RC-TNT, get started, get good. This is the get good bit. I'm going to have a founding members launch and it's coming soon. I'm going to open it just for 7 days to those who want to jump in early, and that price is going to be locked in forever. So that when we do the proper launch next year, those who joined early will keep that low price for good. And I'm hoping to throw cars your way, prizes, and also have a nice little structured, curated community, and one that is positive. I've done that with the club too. I'm the president of the Melbourne Crawlers, Melbourne Comp Crawlers Incorporated. I want us to work together. I'm charging money because it's over 100 hours just to set the thing up, and I'm going to be pouring my life into it. I want to leave an impact and I want to do something good, something valuable. And we're also going to have a free part that's going to have quality stuff, and you'll have access to a lot of things in there. So I'm not looking to paywall people out of the good stuff, but I'm also looking to make some kind of living. So I think I've got the wrong size here. So be aware, the shed is coming, and I'll tell you more about it soon. It'll be later this month. I have the founding members launch. I think what we've found is that it's going to probably have a center of gravity challenge, but I bet you it's still pretty good. Let's take it for a spin. Okay, let's start with going for a walk. I'd like to see what second speed is like. So far so good. I'm walking at a normal, comfortable walking pace. It's not quite keeping up. It could be a little faster, but again, this is a 24M, and even their marketing material says it's well suited to crawling over books, keyboards, coffee tables, stuff like that. So that's clearly the intention. Looks good driving though, doesn't it? Like, this is a crazy speed for this level of off-roadness if it was real life. Think about that. That's top speed in first. That's a lovely reduction. Even that, if I was driving my real four-wheel drive on a bumpy road like this would feel quite fast. What we were just doing before was race speed. This is not race speed. Now, I don't see headlights. Let me see if I can work out why. No portal axles here, so you're going to get hung up on various things. That's part of the scale experience, you know? You don't need the thing to be really, really, really capable. You need the thing to be scale if you're buying a scale car. That would be my suggestion. Popping back in a second, we're going to go back to race mode really. The maximum speed of reverse is lower than the maximum speed of forward. That's a cost-saving thing because of the way that the ESC is designed. It's an extra MOSFET they didn't have to put in. So second speed still is very torquey though. Full speed straight up the hill, no worries at all. So now I'm going to try low speed modulation, like low speed driving with second speed. And it's not bad. Now what about drag brake in second? Let's have a look. Drag brake is where the ESC applies voltage to the motor to stop those wheels turning, to stop the car going downhill. Now if you think, oh, that looked like it was freely rolling, think again. I'm going to change into neutral and watch the difference. All right, and neutral. That's what freewheeling looks like. And to do neutral, high speed, middle is neutral, low speed. It's a standard thing in my experience to have to fiddle around with a transmission, a 2-speed, to get the thing to do what you want. Wow, I didn't think it'd get up that. Out of the box, FMS 2-speeds are just good. They just are. Beautiful. This is the same kind of material that the TRX4M originally launched with. ABS is a really smart material to use. It keeps the thing light, but still has that nice hard body scale look, you know? You know those lanyards that have the keys on the end and they kind of attach Like the lanyard attaches to your waist and you have the keys and you pull them out on a string, then they retract. Stick one underneath the hood here and have a little hook that you make from a paper clip coming out through the fair lead here, and you've got a built-in unpowered winch. Something you can do if you want a winch on these little things and you don't want to spend more money and try and stuff around with a different radio to get a whole channel. Use a key lanyard. Make a little hook out of a paper clip. It's a little bit of DIY and it's satisfying to do, you know. I've shown that on the channel before and it's a fun little thing you can do. I think they nailed the battery size, it's quite good. They nailed a lot of stuff here. I wouldn't mind seeing rear lights. Again, that's another thing you can do. 3mm LEDs. You're also going to need a JST splitter. I'll see if I can find those plugs for you and I'll stick them in the description so that if you want to add rear lights without having to get a soldering iron out, you can. And maybe the brass wheels I was talking about, if you think you want them, if you're going to crawl. I think you'll have a fairly complete little car then. There's no driver, so that's another thing you could think about if you care. The tyres aren't bad. They're not bad at all. In fact, the whole thing's not bad. The biggest weakness of a longer wheelbase like this, the skid, the middle of the car underneath gets stuck on things. But I think that's offset by the biggest benefit of a long wheelbase car, and that is stability, particularly on steep ascents and descents. It's the longer wheelbase vehicles that actually will be able to make it up the steepest things, at least more often. You just have more stability. Now that is impressively good. This is very steep. Cameras famously don't show grade. This is a steep little climb and it's doing it. Haven't rolled yet, did you notice that? Back into crazy race mode, second speed. I would love to know what that second gear does, if it's faster or slower. I think I wouldn't really want slower than this for a second. Let's have a look at a descent. This is very steep and quite technical because there are a bunch of bumps, a bunch of drop-offs and stuff. Get a slightly better angle for it, there you go. That's like, this is brown pants time in real life. You really want to get this right because you stuff it up, you're going to roll. In fact, what's even more brown pants is if we get kind of crazy here and try and come up along the side there. Its side hilling so far is better than I expected it would be. It's certainly better than the Range Rover, but that's the concern. Down she goes. It's a beautiful, reliable transmission. I really like it. It's one of my favorite things about the FMS. If you want to see a link to this to buy, please do. It helps support my channel. If you buy, I think there's a 5% commission for me if you use the link. Then that's buying directly from FMS for the same price you would have bought it for. So this is where brass wheels would help because the thing actually is threatening to roll here. I also want to thank my channel members. Here they are on screen for supporting this endeavor. We're moving to the shed soon, so that membership is going to change, I think. But for the time that you guys have been with me, some of you, nearly 2 years, thank you from the bottom of my heart for believing in what I do. I want to add value to the RC community and I want to give you some honest and unbiased reviews. This model was provided to me by FMS. Thank you, FMS. My proviso for any manufacturer sending me something is reserve the right to say whatever I want to say. And I will make sure that we have a free, frank, honest and open discussion about a model's capabilities. It makes it very easy when you have a quality model like this that performs well. That's the best case scenario for everybody because I get to show you something good, I get to give you a good opinion of it, and the manufacturer's happy too because they get a nice review. So in summary, heavier wheels if you want them, that lanyard winch we talked about if you want it, and there is a actual fair lead there. You might need to drill a hole if it doesn't go all the way through, no worries. I love the little D-shackles, by the way. Internal springs inside the shocks if you want to draw the thing down a bit and give it more of a stock look. That's more of an Australian look, that's more of an American look I suppose, but the option's there. And I wouldn't change that motor, I wouldn't be worried about brushless, the 2-speed's very good. The other thing on my to-do list is to try swapping that gear and see, is it faster or slower, because I don't know. Well, that's that guys, throw me a like, thank you for watching and I'll catch you next time on RC-TNT. Cheers.